Except, yeah, it's nighttime. So I'm not going to sing good morning or hey guys. Hey, it is nighttime.
Good night.
Right now it is October 23rd, 2017. It's a Monday. The time is currently 8:29, 8:30. Anyway, so as you can tell by the title of this story, I'm going to share our experience with IUI, why we did it, and the medications, because we are starting it up again this month. We have an appointment on Wednesday, and I'm definitely going to be vlogging on Wednesday to bring you guys along with me so you can see everything. And if you're wondering what that noise is, it is my husband who can't leave stuff alone.
Not everything.
Anywho, so for us, starting the IUI process was not hard. We had to go through he didn't have to go through any testing at all. He had to go through a semen analysis because I have a group of friends who follow me on it's an app, like a period tracker app. If you women are familiar with it, I'll leave it in the description box. But it's a group of women who's trying to conceive and who's, going through so many different things. And we just can connect with one another and just, talk and have like a 2-week wait buddy or someone just to comfort us. So anyway, so the testing that he went through was semen analysis and blood work, just regular checkup, like the STD screening and all that other stuff. So with me, I went through ultrasound, I went through blood work, I went through the HSG, I went through
a lot of shit.
X-ray. And I think that's it. Now, out of all of the tests that I got done, I had no problem. Everything was cool except for the HSG, which he went with me. So basically, you make that appointment, and that's like the very last test that you get besides the third day testing that you do before you start the initial process to the IUI. So it's like you do a follow-up, not a follow-up, but a checkup. I forgot what it's called. But it's an all thorough checkup, and they check you for like everything to make sure that everything is working properly, correctly. You have enough eggs, or you're ovulating, whatever the case may be, just to see if that can diagnose what the problem is to why you're not conceiving or whatever. So after we had got that done, the HSG was the last test. So I'm I'm looking at all this stuff on YouTube, trying to figure out okay, what is this HSG test? I've never heard this before. What's gonna happen? So basically, we set up the appointment. We got there early, 15 minutes early. There was nothing special that I had to do, except for use the bathroom before the procedure. So I was one of the ones who weren't lucky, who I had to get it done by an x-ray tech. So I went into the x-ray room and I laid on the bed, had my gown on, and they clean your cervix, they clean the vaginal area. For anyone who don't want to watch this video, click out, because at some points this may be TMI for you guys, but I'm gonna keep it real. My HSG experience was the worst. So they clean your vaginal, they clean your cervix, because they want to make sure that there's no mucus or anything on it. Everything is clear out. So they take this machine and they lay it over top of your stomach, and it's an x-ray machine, but they have a screen that you can look at as they're doing it, and it's kind of like if you were getting an ultrasound, but it's in an x-ray room. So they have the screen over top, and they're finding where my uterus and everything is positioned and where it's at and how it's looking on screen. So the guy's like, now I'm going to insert the catheter through your cervix. You may feel a little bit of cramping, not too bad. So I'm like, okay, I'm shaking a little bit. I'm nervous because he was taking forever to find it. So finally he found it. He got through, and he pushed a little bit of dye in. So I'm like, okay, this is not bad. he pushed the rest of it in, and the rest of it basically goes throughout the whole entire uterus and the fallopian tubes to make sure that there's no like scar tissue, no fibroids, and everything is working correctly and they're open. So once he pushed all that stuff through, I died and came back to life on that table. Like, when I say that I had the nurse by her shirt and her hand, and I was rolling around on the table and I was crying and I was praying, like, it was the worst pain ever. The doctor came in. He was trying to talk to me. I wasn't listening. I was like, can I go now? He's like, yeah, you can go. Everything looks good. This is how this looks, and yada, yada. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm out. So I'm in the bathroom. I'm thanking God like everything is good, but at the same time, I'm crying. And I'm like, yo, this is the worst pain. If anyone has ever had an ovarian cyst or kidney stone, it is worse than that, okay? I felt like I was giving birth to 8 babies at one time, like, with no epidural. So I'm walking out of the room, and I'm hunched over, and I look at my husband in his slow, soft voice, and I'm like, I'm ready. And he looking at me like, yo, you went in and you was alive. You coming out looking like a zombie. Like, you good? So I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, no, I hurt. I don't feel good. So we trying to walk out. And as we walking down the hallway, we passing like the emergency room, and he's looking at me like, babe, you want to go to the emergency room? I'm like, no, I just want to go home. So a sergeant is passing us, and she's like, hey, ma'am, you okay? And I'm like, no, and I couldn't take it. I broke down crying. I was throwing up and everything. My husband ran to go get a wheelchair, and she's standing there with me. She's like holding me up because at this point I'm about to fall on the floor and pass out. So finally we made it, and they pushed me back to the emergency room. So we had got there, and I'm telling them everything that's going on. When I say that I thought I was dying, I looked at AJ and I said, yo, you are getting only one child and one child only. I'm never doing this again. That HSG test, do not let anybody tell you that it does not hurt. I am a person who can go through ovarian cyst ruptures like they're nothing. That thing hurt so bad, like I was about to lose my mind. So I'm throwing up, and like it's clear stuff coming out. I've never threw nothing clear up. And I'm like, it doesn't taste right. Like something is wrong. What did he do to me? And it was whatever he used to push through my cervix, it goes into your abdomen. So that's what I was throwing up, and it was irritating my stomach, and it was just so much pain. Like, it was the worst pain. So I got back into the emergency room, and they're like checking everything, and I'm on top of that, I'm also bleeding because they have to go through your cervix, so it's gonna be some bleeding or whatever. So they check everything, and they're like, everything is okay. But because the way he did it too rough, and they like, we don't even know why you went to x-ray. They should have did it over an ultrasound. But like, that test was the worst test. So after all that had happened, I ended up having my 3rd day, and my 3rd day was basically just like blood work and another ultrasound to make sure that everything is quiet and I didn't have any cysts, and just to make sure and be for certain that I wasn't pregnant, and we can proceed with the procedure of the IUI. So 3rd day, the first time around, I did Clomid, and Clomid did not work for me. It made me nauseous, and with all the side effects, I wasn't comfortable with it at all, so we stopped it. So by the second time around, because the first time we didn't even get to do an IUI, like they gave us Clomid and they told us to try naturally at home, which obviously it didn't work out for us. So the second time that we went back was the actual first time of doing the IUI. So with that, we did again 3rd day ultrasound, 3rd day blood work, and during that time we spoke with a doctor and decided that we wanted to try injectables. The injectables that I tried was I got a gonal F pen, which I'll show you guys on Wednesday. I got a gonal F pen, and I got an Avadril shot. I got alcohol pads. I got the Sharps container, and I got some progesterone cream, which I'll show you all of that stuff on Wednesday. So they gave me all of this stuff because that's the route that I wanted to take, and I was able to basically, me and my husband were basically able to just be hands on and decide what we wanted to, which way we wanted to go with our procedure and which route we wanted to take. So I did like a lot of research on YouTube, talked to a lot of different people in the TTC community, and I was very comfortable with, you know, trying this. So with the gonal F, the first time around, the side effects that I had was headaches. I was tired. I was cramping the first day. I did cramp. My headaches, they got better by like the second week, because I was on gonal from cycle day 3 all the way up to cycle day 10. And then I believe those was like the only side effects that I really had, and I was hungry.
Sleeping.
Yeah. And then with the trigger shot, now the gonal F, before I get past anything, gonal F is basically to help the body create more than one egg. So at that point, you go in to get ultrasound almost like you go in every 2 days, every 3 days to get blood work and ultrasound. And by that time, I had 4 mature eggs over the size of 16 each. They were all about ranging from 20 to about 22.
Twins.
So with the trigger shot, that's basically HCG, and it basically pushes the eggs out. So it forces you to ovulate so that they can pinpoint exactly when you ovulated, and it boosts the chances with the IUI. So with the trigger shot, the only symptoms that I really had with that was just being tired. Like, other women get symptoms of being pregnant, and I think by the second week I got those type of symptoms, but it wasn't nothing different than, you know, PMS. Like, it wasn't different to me, and I was okay with it. I did, however, start to get really tender breasts by that point, and your cervical mucus does change, and I think it's only because at the time of my trigger shot, I started taking progesterone, so that's what made my cervical mucus switch up. But after that, then we go in by cycle day 15. We went in like 14 to 15. We went in and we had our first IUI, which was not successful, but it's okay because we're gonna continue until it happens for us. Man, we're going to continue with the gonal F and the trigger shot. And with progesterone, like, a lot of women have a lot more symptoms than I did, but I really didn't have too much of any. I made sure that I took my medicine in the morning time, and I had no problems because I made sure that I ate something like right before I did, or sometimes I didn't eat with the shot. But the shot is pretty easy to give. They give you classes on that the day of. They give you a class on that. But yeah, so that's basically the whole process that we went through with the first IUI. And it's the same process with the whole entire thing, except for the testing, the HSG, you only do once every year. With the sperm wash, we had to pay for that ourselves. It wasn't nothing really to it, except for I had to stick it in my bra to make sure that it stayed body temperature when we was going over to the doctor's office. But other than that, like, it was not a big deal. We're starting to back up on Wednesday. So like I said, I'm going to bring the camera along with us, and I'm going to vlog as much as I can possible because we'll be on post. They really don't do like a lot of video footage and stuff there, but I'm going to try to get as much as I can possible. But if you guys have any questions before then, you can comment and ask me anything that you want to. Make sure to like this video, share it, subscribe, because the carewz got a vlogging channel. Ain't that right, babe?
Oh, yeah.